Hey guys, welcome back to Pure South Pastures. So it's been kind of exciting the last few days. Many of you know we added some cattle to our herd, and so that always presents a little bit of excitement. And so today I want to go through with you exactly what all we've done, how we integrated them, how things are going. As you can see behind me, they are all together. I'll give you just share some video of the animals that we added to the herd, and again, I'll discuss a little bit why we've done that. I did it in a previous video, so I won't spend too much time on it. But anyway, glad you joined me today. Let's check it out. Let's get this thing going. All right, so I came out to check on the cows because if you remember, we added the Corrientes. You can see them here. We've added 9 Corrientes to our herd. One of them will be leaving because it's a bull. And that's a whole story I'll have to tell you about how they integrated with our other South Pole bull. So anyway, bringing in new animals from another farm and integrating them into your herd, it's a process. If you know anything about cattle, they have very strong hierarchy. So there's a boss cow, and you know, it goes on down. So when you have a herd that is already established, they already have established the hierarchy, and you bring in other animals, well, all that gets tossed around and they start fighting to see who's the lead and all of that. That is also, I guess, exaggerated a little bit when you bring in, you're not used to having animals with horns, and you know, you just have the fighting component, or the not really fighting, but jostling component with animals that have horns now. And maybe that's more in my mind, a bigger deal in my mind than it really is, but it definitely is there. You have that component, and you also have the fact that these animals that came had never been around an electric fence. Well, everything that we do here centers around that electric fence being the predator that keeps them or moves them every day, keeps them where they are. So it's been a process. So you remember I had the Corrientes separated, brought them in, and just put them in the working corral. The working corral is a very strong structure. I knew that they weren't going to be breaking out of that. And so in that corral, I introduced them to hot wire. I would feed them hay underneath the wire. And so as they ate, they learned quickly that wire was gonna pop them if they touched it. Then I moved them outside the corral into a working area, or we call it the barnyard. It's got a good fence all the way around it. Knew that there was no way that they were going to get out of that. So then I set up a wire inside there, and I split that area in half. And so I was just testing to see after they'd learned in the corral, and definitely I could tell that they had experienced the shock and they weren't going to go past it. Had to go to a funeral the other day, and I had the Corrientes on one side in a field, and the South Poles in another area, because I had brought the South Poles up to work them. I gave black leg shots to calves, and we redid some tags and stuff like that in the working pen. But I had let the Corrientes out in a field, in a pasture just adjacent to that. There was a good fence. It was a web wire fence with barbed wire on top in between them. And I knew that there was some back and forth as far as just being vocal and those kind of things. Well, the Corrientes had a bull with them, and the South Poles had a bull with them. And my intention was to never put those together just because of obvious reasons. Well, I went to a funeral out of town and came back, and guess what had happened? This guy right here had snapped a T-post off at the base, at the ground, smooth snapped it off, pressing through a fence to get to this bull right here. And when I gotten home from that funeral that I went to, all of the tussling had been over, the hierarchy was set, and this bull dominated that bull, and that bull there, after they had fought all day, he was just kind of moaning and pouting around, and you could tell that he'd been defeated. And so after that happened, I was like, heck, we might as well put the whole herd together. So that was taken care of, and you can see the field just past these trees right here. It's a 9-acre field. That's where I first put them together. I didn't try to introduce them into a hot wire system where they were in a small paddock like we're in today. I knew that they needed some room to run, push, shove, and they weren't gonna get free because they did that. So they spent 2 days in that 9-acre field, just kind of pushing and shoving and getting all that worked out. I could tell that was kind of, they had calmed down. And so this morning we made a move, and believe it or not, the Corrientes, they led the move. We moved from that field. We had to go up by the barn, had to come through the barnyard, had a lane down here where we came down the lane and then turned and came in. And all of the animals stayed in the lane, stayed according to the hot wire. Just did a great, just a textbook move. It's perfect. So then they've been in a little smaller area. This is a kind of a large paddock for what I would normally give them, but I knew that they needed a little bit more room. Number one, because we added more animals. Number two, because I was going to be gone all day to work. And three, because I knew that the potential for them to be shoving and pushing, and they could very well just shove one another through the hot wire. Well, if that happens, then the hot wire's down and your animals are going free. So all of that to be said, it's been a process, but we've got them together. They're doing good. They're doing dang good. They're grazing together. They don't really, you kind of see a separation in the two different herds still. They haven't really fully integrated, and you see the Corrientes, using their horns, and they're kind of nudging everybody around. I will say that South Poles and Red Anguses, they are heavier animals. And so those horns might look like they're fighters. These bigger animals will push them around for sure. They'll push them across the pasture, honestly. But man, I'm just really, really excited about how the animals are looking. Look at them. They're just shining. I mean, look at her. Just fat. Did some preg checking this weekend. We drew blood on some cows that I've been thinking about selling, and 2 of them were pregnant. One of them was open, and so the open cow, she's gonna be sold. Actually, one of my favorite cows, this cow right here. She's gonna be sold. I'm gonna be selling a few of the older cows. I know I've been saying that for a while. Corrientes look good. I think they're doing well. I think they'll do well in our system. Look at this. Look at this black one right here, man. She's going after some mineral, but man, she's just shining. Look at that. They're pretty calm. Very happy with them. Look at this little heifer right here. I mean, she's just everything I'd want in a heifer. Hopefully she's gonna be pregnant too. Tested this heifer right here, and she is pregnant, confirmed by blood test. I was gonna video us drawing blood from the tail. If you've never seen that, it's fairly easy. This time I'd done it a couple different ways. Before, when I did it, I sent it off to a lab. This time I got the on-site test, so that was pretty easy. Before, we had sent them off to a lab. It takes just a few days, and they send you back the results by email. I really like these cattle. They're a lot different. But I think they're a good addition. Like I said before, I think they're overlooked by most people. And when they start having calves out of our South Pole bulls, it's gonna be good. It's gonna be real good. You can see we're grazing some pretty low octane forage. Stuff is going downhill. We're gonna be doing a lot of that. So we're working on, look at her, man, she's just gorgeous. Working on deciding exactly what protein supplement we're gonna use for this winter. We're definitely gonna need some protein for them to be able to digest forage that we're going to be giving them. So basically they're going to be grazing standing hay. That's essentially what we're going to be doing. Anyway, they're together. The herd is together and everybody's doing good. I was very pleasantly surprised to come home and see that nobody had busted out. Nobody got in a fight and pushed through the one strand of poly wire. It's good. Kind of interesting. They've eaten all that warm seeds and stuff up there that's going downhill, especially the Lespedeza, little short Lespedeza stuff. And then they left all this cool season stuff down here in the bottom. I guess now they're going to come back and kind of pick around on it. This is the stuff I'm trying to get to grow, and they act like they don't want to. Look at her. Ooh. Man. And these two. Hey, beautiful. Yeah, they're looking good. So anyway, I'll get off here. It's a good day when you come home and everybody's where they're supposed to be. Still got plenty to eat. I'll move them again in the morning. I'll actually move them up one paddock in the morning, give them that other half up there, and they'll be able to come back here to shade and water. High's just under 80 degrees, so they really don't have to have shade. But loving this fall weather, man. These mornings have been so nice. Golly. This morning I put a hoodie on when I first came out. I shed it pretty quick, but boy, that's awesome when you can wear hoodie. Hoodie weather's my favorite. All right, I'm gonna get off here. I'll quit rambling. Thank you guys for watching. God bless you. I'll see you in the next one.